To start with, we have the panel discussion session on the cloud adoption, cloud reputation. So cloud adoption and cloud reputation are two strategies that business can use to manage their IT infrastructure and applications. With this now, I would like to invite the panelists to the dais. Dinesh Barija, Mr. Rushikant Sastri, Mr. Rajiv Mamidana, Mr. Amit Agrawal, Chief Business Officer, WebWorks, Mr. Ajay Sawant, Orient Technologies, and Smith Gonsalves, Director, Cybersmith Secure.
Can we all have a huge round of applause for such prominent and important personalities of the industries? And it is a pleasure for us to see them all together on the dais and having a discussion. Thank you.
Ashish. Okay. Can I request everyone to take the seat? So I have requested Ashish to join from WebWorks. The reason being is when are doing the theme on cloud and beyond, and we have the very specialized topic that cloud adoption, cloud reputation. So I think a cloud person should be there. So that you call the spicing on the ice? Okay. So let me introduce on the topic why we had kept this topic. Everyone might have surprised that. So cloud adoption involves moving applications and data from on-premises servers to the cloud, where they can hosted by a third-party provider. This strategy offers a number of benefits, including increasing scalability, flexibility, and cost savings. At the same time, cloud reputation involves moving applications and data back from the cloud to on-prem servers. This strategy may be adopted for a number of reasons, such as a desire to regain control over IT infrastructure, improve security, and reduce cost. Year 2023 may indeed by the year we begin reputation applications and data stores that are more cost effective to run inside traditional enterprise data center. This is not a criticism of cloud computing. Like any technology, cloud computing is better for some use than for others. To start with, I have a question for the panelists. We have a very versatile panel. So Rajiv is from the partner community, and we have Ajay is from the again system integration community, and Mr. Dinesh is from the Open Security Alliance, and we have Mr. Sastri from State Bank of India. He take care of chairhead the entire technology wing, and we have Smith. He is the expert in the cyber security, and we have Ashish. They run the data center. Okay, and you do so many things also. Let's start with. Who will take up the first question, that is, what is the future of cloud in India? I start with Rushikant.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank VAR for giving opportunity to be such a esteemed panelist. We'll try to cut short because we know that we are just between the delegates and C and D. So yeah, cloud adoption, when I started sometimes like back on the similar topic, I used to say that when it comes to BFSI, all traditional activities will be migrated to three parameters: identity, information, and experience. I've just changed the verdict now, or maybe little bit of change as on date. The need of an hour is now identity, information, experience has been changed to speed, intelligent, and experience. So any of my business outcomes is categorized or parametric to speed, intelligent, and experience. If I'm able to achieve these three attributes, I'm good to go. So what I need to do, of course, I'm doing good in my on-prem, but then there have been buzz and there has been the things that, yeah, I have to go to cloud. So my data says, I guess close to $8 billion we have ecosystem of cloud. We are growing at the rate of 35%. Not sure about the BFSI, but yeah, it's increasing. what all things I go to, let it keep it very simple. Why I need to go to cloud, I guess we all know. I have to achieve that scalability, agility. So I have to ensure that whenever new product comes, or if I have to ramp up, ramp down, I should be good to go. I should make sure that my customers have a good engagement, my customer should have a good experience. I have to make sure that last but not the least that cost should be reduced. So these are the parameters which is helping across verticals to move around the cloud. So cloud adoption, too far as per the research and all these things, it's going still percentage 30 to 35% I guess year on year. So as of now, BFSI also, most of the core applications owing to regulatory, we have not yet moved, but non-core applications, non-critical applications, we are open to move to cloud. And coming ahead also, I guess we'll witness close to 25-30% in BFSI also, a growth rate for cloud adoption. So,
Thank you. Ajay, you want to share some slide?
I think gone are the days when the cloud was used only for test and developments. Now cloud is inevitable, whether you accept it or not. The businesses need freedom. Businesses need flexibility. Businesses needs agility. So it's always there is a fight between a CIO and the users. Users needs all this. Okay, look at the way e-commerce business we are all piling on. It's so easy to do shopping nowadays that we don't have to travel through the traffic. We don't have to think of parking. We don't have to go in from various shops from one to another. All it is possible only with cloud. The businesses has made simpler by the cloud. And that is why I personally feel cloud is inevitable.
So do all the panelists agree? I think Rajiv want to share something.
Yeah, sure. So I absolutely agree with both the thought processes. So like we have the categorization of millennials, Gen Z, Gen X, right? There are the organizations that are today cloud native, digital native. For them, cloud makes a lot of sense because they don't have any baggage to carry. They don't have traditional applications. They don't have traditional infrastructure, mammoth, Unix systems, etc. Right? So they are very free to today evaluate, and for them, the cost of entry is potentially low. Where I see cloud actually playing a bigger role is in the adoption of, today we talk about artificial intelligence, today we talk about IoT, today we talk about so many other things like, for example, blockchain. Right? To propagate this to everyone so that it touches everyone's life, you need a cloud, which is the rider on which these technologies will be actually given to people.
Okay. So anyone want to add? Dinesh ji?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I do agree, of course, that cloud is inevitable. It's already here. We're already into it, and you can't get out of it. Once you are there, you're hooked. So it's like a marriage, and there's no divorce. So, but the problem is there. There is a big problem over there. While we do say that yes, it's inevitable, or we are married to it, or whatever, that there is the problem about the compliance, regulations, and security. Okay. At one point, you said like e-commerce, yes, you will grow, but at one point you will have the need to have your own space. Again, I'll give you the marriage paradigm also. And even if you're in a marriage with your lover, you still need your own space. You can't be 24/7 with your partner. You need 1 hour a day, apna kone mein, and that is that corner which every cloud user will require with time as he or she grows. Because it becomes, see, we talked about cost, and I don't think that once you scale up, the cost becomes good. The reason why we went to the cloud was cost. The reason why we are moving back from cloud is cost. And of course, you can't move 100% back because your data, humongous amount of data, like he said, terabytes of data lying over there, just to bring it back, it's like getting maybe SpaceX to build a new machine for you to bring it back over here. But no, it is impossible. But yes, however, as we say, we are in 2023, it is inevitable. Karna hai. You need it.
Smith, you want to also add something?
Sure. So what I am able to see with, pretty rightly mentioned by Dinesh on this. So I would just point out two major aspects I will highlight over here. It is, the marriage is hybrid, I would say. And when it's hybrid, there is going to be a problem. Now, what do I mean by that is, the cloud provider, if it's a foreign-based entity, and having and then the customers are in India, then it's certainly going to be pretty important thing to watch that how the Indian companies who have some of the sensitive data or working in some sensitive sectors are going to collaborate. As I have been looking at some of the various companies in India who actually are not using cloud. You see the oil and gas, you see the power sector, they are using the Indian-based Desi clouds, I can say. And that's what would be going forward, which would be there, or there is one more contradictory to this, and that is, people talk about data diodes, or people talk about splitting of internet. Now, when splitting of internet is going to happen, when every country will have its own internet, then it would be interesting to watch what are the ways the treaties are like Prashant Mali ji, Dr. Mali mentioned, Advocate Mali, mentioned very clearly that when these things are going to come in, how the treaties are going to come in picture, the nationwide treaties are going to come in picture. How do you see the companies of different nations reacting, and what sort of concerns the enterprises in India are coming up with? So I would conclude it in a point that if it is a SaaS-based product company, the chances of that marriage is going to be successful is quite high. But if the company has a diverse portfolio, it would be quite difficult.
Yeah, you are right that there are many countries also ready with their own internet. So we'll talk separately. How, Ashish, you want to share your thought on future of cloud in India?
Sir, future is very bright. First of all, I think many of our panelists had talked about, but I have few things which I've personally experienced. Somebody talked about, say, e-commerce, somebody talked about the media companies. I still feel it's not about cloud, it's not about data center, it's about organization, how do they want to use cloud for themselves. When I talk to my customers, majority of customers are still sitting on premise, and that is where the money lies for all of us. Moving to AWS, Azure, GCPs, I feel personally, it's moved to like a Hotel California. Once you get in, you can't get out. Somebody just talked about SAP infrastructure moving to AWS, and somebody sitting in Europe had decided that all of the SAP customers move to AWS, Azure, and GCP. If none than the case, Mukesh bhai writes some policy in India, what will happen to these hyperscalers? I am really scared of. And I am waiting for that particular time when companies will shift the complete paradigm. And I've seen in the future, like in 2001, the mobile क्रांति आई थी ना, वैसी क्रांति अभी दोबारा आएगी. मुझे लगता है अभी ये सिर्फ एक पिरामिड का बहुत छोटा सा हिस्सा है. क्लाउड देख रहे हैं जहाँ से हम, मुझे लगता है नीचे बहुत कुछ है.
Chalo, we'll have more questions. So from now onwards, we have questions. It will be only two panelists who have to respond. So in the interest of time. So now the next question is, what percentage of enterprise workloads are in the cloud? Ajay?
So I think every enterprise is nowadays using cloud for some of the applications or data. Basic need, you need to understand what is your fixed workload and what is your variable workload, right? I hope everybody is watching nowadays IPL, correct? And Jio Cinema is giving it free, correct? So if you understand why Jio is giving free, whereas Star Plus is charging us. Please understand the scalability on this, and if you can see on the Jio Cinema, the number of users, it shows maximum is 1.9 CR. 1.9 CR users are viewing at a single go the entire IPL match. Now, population is a blessing in the disguise for India, okay, and that's why we are all saying that India is shining, and it will continue to shine for entire this decade. But understand, it's all because of the various usages that India has adopted. Our Honorable Finance Minister wants to make it $5 trillion by 2025. our GDP. It is only possible because of the population, because of the scale that we have in terms of businesses. Look at various businesses which has come up, which is in food tech, in fintech, in edutech. Everything is all about tech, and they are using only one platform, which is the cloud platform. All these are new line of businesses. And that's a massive scale. We all need to collaborate together and make sure that we, be party in that game.
So yeah, second panelist, let me
Yeah,
answer
please.
this question straightforward.
Yeah.
If it is a media, e-commerce, it can be 80%, 90%, close to 100% also. But it can, if it is a banking, hardly I guess maximum 15% is in cloud adoption. Because my core application contributes close to 60-65%. Still, it is on-prem only. So I think it's this answer cannot be given generalized. Depending upon a vertical, depending upon the applications, I guess we should answer this question. I guess I have answered straightforward. If it is a non-critical thing, I can go 80, 90, 100% need of an hour, everything is okay. But if it is a critical thing, 15-20% is, I guess, the ballpark figure.
Yeah, actually the compliance plays a major role. Okay, in most of the enterprises, the data localization, which is a big, rule given by the authority bodies, okay, whether it's RBI, SEBI or IRDA, they control that. And that's where probably the BFSI is just using 15-20% of the cloud. But given a choice, they may go for many more percentage. Means that percentage will increase very fast, very fast.
Wonderful. So we'll move to the next question, that is how you are seeing 2023 be the year of public cloud reputation. Can I start with Dinesh?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
How you are seeing 2023 year be the public cloud reputation?
Ghar wapsi. No, like I said earlier, see, it's 2023 is too early actually. I do feel it's too early for mid-size or large enterprises to come back, because we are sort of moving into it. We are still very nascent stage. Like I said, there is still a huge demand and requirement for moving to the cloud, with the new startups and with the new companies and the new unicorns coming up. And this being the easiest way to really scale up and to build up something, to really get off the ground. So for thinking to somebody to come back in 23 or 24, 25, it's too early, unless the guy scales up to that level. But I think even the largest unicorns have still not reached a point where they need to sort of scale back and bring things back home. Unless, like he said, it's the critical stuff which you need to be at home. But again, there another googly has been thrown by the government. The new bill which is there, which talks about trusted geographies. And so in which case the need for localization is also diluted. So where you have a trusted geography where you're doing business, like let's say US, and you can store over there also. So that, but of course the 7 years thing remains, because that's the IT department requirement, and that would not go off. RBI says localized. Now whether RBI will have a fight with the government or how it will work, we don't know. So let us wait and see how things work out. But Ghar Wapsi is still way ahead. Okay.
Yeah. Rajiv, you want to add? Yeah.
So I sort of agree with you there, but I have a slightly different perspective. I think we are at a stage today where most of the early movers in the biggies, right, what we call as the enterprise segment, have started realizing whether their migration plans were good or bad, right? So they've started realizing that. So there's always this case of, you'll always have leaders and then you'll have followers. The leaders have taken the plunge, they have experienced success as well as failure, and the followers are now learning from it. So we are at a stage where next 2 to 3 years will be critical. People will follow a hybrid model. I think that's what, there's no two ways about it. People will identify what to put on cloud, what to have on public, private cloud, and what to have on an on-premise, infrastructure like a vertical scaling infrastructure, right? Today, I work with a company which has a 80 terabyte single instance Oracle database. They can't move to cloud. They just can't move to cloud. Even if Oracle pushes them to Oracle cloud, they say we can't, because the cost of moving there is tremendous. So you'll have a hybrid model. Everybody is going to, and I think that's where it is important for partners to understand the thought process of CIOs as well, because they are the people who actually plan this. How much of it should go out, how much of it should be in, right? And we should structure our discussions around that.
Wonderful. So when the next move is when advantage of cloud storage are not fully realized, representation become the reality. So representation, their applications and data back on premises servers. So do you agree on it? So can Ashish, you can throw some light? When advantages of cloud storage are not fully realized, representation become the reality. Do you agree on it?
Uh, I didn't understand the question, where the question is coming from. I didn't understand the
So,
context.
When advantages of cloud storage are not fully realized, then the representation comes.
Good. Okay. Anybody here? I'm sure the partner is massive, right? S3 और ग्लेशियर से जब डेटा निकलता है तो कौन से कस्टमर को फायदा होता है मैं जानना चाहता हूँ. कस्टमर की दुकानें बंद हो जाती हैं यार, मतलब बंद कर देंगे. एक भी आदमी को ना बिल समझ नहीं आता AWS का, इतना डिफिकल्ट है. तो मुझे नहीं लगता इसमें कोई एडवांटेज है AWS, एज़्योर, GCP या किसी पार्टनर के लिए. बट आई पर्सनली फील कि आज भी मुझे लगता है इंडिया में बहुत सारे एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं, बहुत सारी लोकल कंपनीज हैं जो कि अपने क्लाउड बना रही हैं और उन क्लाउड के ऊपर काम कर रही हैं. VMware हो गया, न्यूटैनिक्स हो गया, जो टिपिकली अपस्ट्रीम प्रोवाइडर्स हैं. मुझे लगता है उन लोगों के साथ काफ़ी कस्टमर्स को एंगेज करना चाहिए, तभी वो स्टोरेज को सस्ता बनाया जा सकता है, बैकअप को सस्ता बनाया जा सकता है. और कस्टमर की जो डेमोग्राफिक्स हैं, जब मैं बोलूँ आप लातूर में बैठे हो एक फैक्ट्री में और कंटिन्यूसली आपकी मशीन डेटा को पंच करती है, उस डेटा को आप कैसे लेके आओगे एज़्योर में, AWS में, GCP में? और अगर लेके आ भी गए तो फिर वापस कैसे आओगे? मुझे समझ नहीं आया. थोड़ा मतलब आई एम फ्रॉम द बैड स्कूल, बट दैट्स व्हाट माय कंसर्न इज ऑलवेज. तो आई टॉक टू ऑलवेज अजय सर एज वेल लास्ट टाइम. अजय सर इस कॉन्वर्सेशन को और बेटर कैसे कर सकते हैं? या प्लीज.
Singapore, it's a marketing company. So they said they saved $400 million by, if they were in AWS and they are in a private cloud in a co-located data center, they're saving $400 million yearly. It's a press release from them. So it's always going to be a hybrid story. So private data centers like you and me will always have that edge on the price factor, but modern workloads like AI, machine learning, IoT at scale will always remain in public cloud. You can, as a private cloud.
सर हाइब्रिड में AI और ML का डेटा जो होता है ना, वो कभी मूव नहीं कर सकते आप.
No, but now
जो आपका NLP डेटा होता है ना, उसकी कोडिंग जो होती है वो इस तरीके से लिखी जाती है कि आपका जो डेटा होता है वो एक क्लाउड से दूसरे क्लाउड पे जा ही नहीं सकता.
No, they are doing it. Even NASA, you know, Amazon sent them a snow truck, you know.
आप Amazon, NASA छोड़िए, एक Amazon की ऐप को आप Azure पे माइग्रेट करके दिखाओ without code change.
That is a different story. That's a different
Okay,
story.
so now we'll go, now Smith, you want to add something on it? Yep.
Well, I would like to add in a way that we have to understand the fundamental problem. Okay, I'm talking about startups. Okay, why the repercussion is not going to happen, or it's going to be a certain amount of barriers are there, and that is because of toffees being provided by the Google Cloud or Amazon or by Azure. Now, what are these toffees? From the startup point of view, you register as you have your company, you apply for Startup India, and then you get $10,000 credit. You connect to an accelerator, you get $2 lakh credits. The question is, can the local cloud providers compete with this sort of organizations who have the capability to give such amount of free funds to startups to go ahead and adopt the particular cloud platform? And then after certain point, it becomes a liability. But yes, I have seen certain, now when it becomes a liability, there is one more service which is introduced. Like I have got friends in the US, what they do is they look at the overall cloud posture. And if an organization, so I got clients who pay like $1 million monthly as part of their cloud bills. Now when this happens, the most important point is this cloud architects or this cloud price architects or solution experts comes in picture. So the people who look at the cost. And they say we reduce your cost, and whatever is the cost, we have optimized it, we will take a 2% or 3% of the share. So that's where it's like a Chakravyu which you are getting in, and it's pretty hard to get out basically.
I like it. This is the right answer what you say. So finally, so public cloud interpretation trends are gaining ground and cannot be ignored. Can you share some thought? I will start from Ashish. You have to speak in one sentence.
What do I say? I have really no clue about this. I would like to pass on this question to the other senior team members.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would prefer that yes, cloud repatriation will happen. Cloud adoption is happening at much faster rate. Please understand, cloud here is going to stay. Whether it's a public cloud or a private cloud. Okay, either way. People will come back, but they will come on the cloud itself. If somebody is coming from the public cloud, it will build their own private cloud. Finally, it's a cloud. Cloud means, please understand, it's all about scale, agility, and flexibility. That's it.
Okay, Smith.
Can you repeat the question, sir? Sorry.
Public cloud reputation trends are gaining ground and cannot be ignored.
Absolutely. It's basically the way the cloud has been structured. Particularly to answer the point, it is very important that organizations have to realize, now this can be applied to the organization who are well matured. So the organizations who are trying to create new amount of product and already they are stuck with one of the ecosystem, let's say AWS or Azure. And then for them to look at another cloud, it's also the engineering that has to come in picture. The engineering cost, the security cost. So what they look at is that they try to use the same service, the same provider, because they have the DevOps team, they have the technical capabilities. So it's dicey, I would say.
Okay. Dinesh.
So it's not just companies, but even individuals who are totally, I would say, in that swamp, which is we call cloud. And why are we thinking of cloud only as storage or application or whatever? Let us go fundamental, email. Every single person in the room individually has an email account which is in the cloud. Every organization has email in the cloud. I remember the good old days when SMTP server tha, I could make as many email addresses. And today if I have to make an email address, I have to multiply by X. And whether it's an E1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can, like totally clean out my bank account also. So I don't think there is any, I would say, space to argue about this, but it is here, and it is part of life anyhow.
Right.
The only thing is that, yes, whether that life, we have written it out to some foreign entity or we are writing it to a local entity, that's the question.
Wonderful. Mr. Sastry.
Yeah. So little different perspective. Little I won't agree with previous speaker. I guess striking a right balance between a public, private, and on-prem. That's a need of an hour. Had it been cloud is the only answer, then that repatriation word itself would have not come. There is something called overpromise. There is something called technological advancement. Why we go to cloud? I guess I have touched base upon agility, flexibility, scalability, cost, security. If I'm able to achieve the same in on-prem, which we are doing, we have a latest state-of-art hypervisors. If I implement in my on-prem or on my private cloud, I can get very well synergies, which I could get from public cloud also, right? But then, yeah, there is exception. Now, I have certain apps, which is cloud native. There are certain cloud computing effects, which is cloud native. Then I can't say come to my on-prem, I have to. So that's what striking a right balance. We have to be flexible enough. We do have the advancement in technology and it's going on. So there won't be, I guess there will be interoperability or democratization of storage services wherein I won't be able to differentiate between the public, private or on-prem also, because these days on-prem is also able to achieve the synergy which can be offered in the cloud at public and private. So let's achieve to have that interoperability, let's be open, strike a right balance between all these three space providers and achieve your business goals. That's what I say. It cannot be generalized.
Right, you are right. Rajiv.
Quickly, so a third perspective, right? So I think the repatriation is definitely happening. It is happening because people have realized that they either went into it too early without planning it properly, or they didn't have the right architecture to plan it and the right architecture to actually deploy it, right? So those people have possibly realized, and they are the ones who today say that, cost has escalated. Today, there are multiple issues. So I think if people dive into it with a proper plan in place, I don't see why it won't work. Yes, like, Mr. Shastri said, there are certain things that you just can't move into cloud, right? You can't even try to do that. You shouldn't try to do that. It's a waste of time. For everything else, put a plan in place and do it properly. I think then it is going to succeed. People who are coming back have probably not done that. That's my point of view.
Yeah, you are right. So ultimately, the decision to adopt the cloud or repatriation applications and data will depend on a number of factors specific to each business. However, by carefully evaluating their needs and options, business can make an informed decision that best support their goals and objectives. So thank you very much, panelists, for sharing their valuable inputs. Thank you very much.